Hi, and welcome to Introduction to Scratch by Sydney Lunabotics. Scratch is a programming language by MIT that's designed towards complete beginners and has a colorful graphical user interface that's based on drag and drop, which makes it easy to use even for people who haven't coded before. So let's have a look at Scratch. This is what it looks like when you open it up, and at the top there are some drop-down menus like you usually get for Windows applications. To the left is an area with snippets of code and different menu options. They can go through them. I'll talk about this more later. There on the right hand side, this main window here, is the preview pane, you might call it, which gives you a preview of what your code will look like. These two buttons are very important. The green one, the green flag, is the start button, and the red stop button is the stop button. Underneath here is a panel that keeps track of all your sprites, which are just objects that your code uses. And here is the main window where you drop your code. So let's get started. Let's do a classic example that every code tutorial does. Hello world. So what we want to do is make our cat say hello world. We can go into the looks section and find the bit of code that says say hello. We can click, drag, and drop. Now it will say hello. Well, according to tradition, it should say hello world. Whoops. So we can click on this little white space here and change it to say what we want. Let's run it and have a look. Nothing happens. Well, how come it doesn't work? Turns out we need to control when it says hello world. The cat, whose name is sprite1 as it says up here, doesn't know when to say it. So we need to go into the control section and drag and drop this little bit of code that says when green flag clicked. So now what our code does is when the green flag is clicked, it'll do what it says underneath, which in our case is say hello world. You'll note that there's these little indentations here that need to match up, and this white line will get them to click together. Alright, so let's try it out. And that does exactly what we want. Great. In general, it's good practice to press stop afterwards, or you can get the script itself to press stop. In the control section, there is the stop all command, which you can drag and drop underneath to make it stop when it's all done. Now you can do multiple things, like in the motion section there's a move 10 steps command, and you can fit that in between here. So now what this will do is when I click the green flag, it'll say hello world, it'll move 10 steps, which happens to be to the right, and then it'll stop everything. So let's have a look and see how that works. 10 steps is a little bit small, but you could see that. If you missed that, let's try it again. You see that? Great. So that does exactly what we wanted to do. And in Scratch, there's a ton of other things that you can do. As you can change what are called costumes, which I'll go through later, and there are different motion options and even sound that you can do. So great. In this lesson, we learned to get familiar with Scratch and also learned to write a simple script. This simple script taught us how to start and stop code, as well as do things like move our sprite and to make it say things. So I hope you enjoyed this quick introduction to Scratch, and don't forget to check us out at www.sydneylunabotics.com or on Facebook at Sydney Lunabotics. Thanks for listening, and see you guys next time.